Why Alexander the Great could not conquer India. In 326 BCE, the young and undefeated Alexander the Great stood at the gateway to India. His conquests had stretched from Greece to Egypt, from Persia to the edge of the known world. He had crushed mighty empires, humbled powerful kings, and carried his vision of a global empire farther than anyone before him. But when he stepped onto Indian soil, he met a challenge unlike anything he had ever faced, a challenge that would break his army, not by defeat, but by fear. This is the story of why Alexander the Great could not conquer India. The Battle of the Hydaspes, a fight like no other. Alexander's army had fought countless battles, but none as brutal as the Battle of Hydaspes. Here, they faced King Porus, an Indian ruler known for his towering presence, his mastery of warfare, and his unyielding spirit. Porus's army was unlike anything Alexander had encountered before. Indian war elephants, towering and unstoppable, trampled through Macedonian lines, sending men and horses flying. Archers rained arrows upon the invaders, and Porus himself fought with the strength of a warrior king, refusing to surrender even as his forces dwindled. And to make things worse, the battle took place under the torrential Indian monsoon, turning the battlefield into a slippery, chaotic mess. Alexander won, but at a great cost. His men were battered, exhausted, and shaken. When the battle ended, Porus stood before Alexander, wounded but proud. Porus, weak but defiant.
Treat me, O Alexander, like a king treats a king.
Impressed by Porus's courage, Alexander spared his life and even restored his kingdom. But the cracks in his own army were beginning to show, the fear of the unknown. The Battle of Hydaspes was a warning, a glimpse of the greater dangers that lay ahead. The Indian subcontinent was not like the fractured Greek city-states or the weakened Persian Empire. Deeper in India, Alexander's scouts brought troubling news. Beyond the Ganges lay the Nanda Empire, ruled by the formidable Nanda. Unlike Persia, which had crumbled under its own corruption, the Nanda dynasty was strong, its military vast and disciplined, its war elephants numbering in the thousands. Alexander's men were not fools. If the Battle of Hydaspes had nearly broken them, what awaited them in the heart of India? The mighty Greek army that had crushed the world's greatest empires now trembled at the thought of what lay ahead. At night, whispers of rebellion spread through the camps. Soldiers who had followed Alexander across continents now asked themselves a single question: is this conquest worth our lives? Then it happened. At the banks of the Hydaspes River, when Alexander ordered his army to march forward, the soldiers refused. They had seen enough blood, fought enough battles. They had marched farther than any Greek had ever dreamed. And now they were done, Alexander pleaded. He threatened. He even isolated himself in his tent for 3 days, hoping they would change their minds. But the will of the army was final, and so the great conqueror, the man who had never been defeated, was forced to turn back, a dream left unfinished. Alexander the Great had set out to conquer the world, but India was a different beast. Here, he met not only a powerful enemy, but a land that had yet to be broken. The Indian subcontinent would never fall to him, and his dream of global domination would remain incomplete. A few years later, at just 32 years old, Alexander died in Babylon. Some say he wept at the thought of more worlds left unconquered. But perhaps, in his final moments, he thought back to that one place where his ambition met its match: India.